Hi, and welcome to the prologue of the net version of the book The Mistress by them all. By me, Puch. So, what's the main plot? Well, this book is essentially about a Mayan queen called Wakjanila Hao, that's Lady Six Guy, who essentially travels to the year 2012 by doing some sort of magic spell. So, what's this book about? Well, it's kinda hard to answer that question in one sentence, but boiled down, it can be best described as a love story. It's a story about relationships. But, like said, that's not all it is, and characterizing it by that alone doesn't do the story any justice. So, what else is this book about? Apart from it being a love story and a story about relationships, The Mistress by them all essentially deals with the subject of cultural identity and personal revelation. In other words, finding things out about yourself that you might not have known before and you may or may not like. So you might be asking, where does The Mistress by them all draw its influences from? Well, to be honest, it's based on or gets its influence from several different movies and songs and series, and also from other books. But I have to say that each chapter is essentially followed by an epilogue, where all the various references and influences of a certain chapter are essentially explained, so I'm not going to lay that out here. So, what's the deal with Twilight? As it so happens, I am a huge Twilight hater. But unlike many people, I kind of see myself above simply getting in front of a camera and ranting about it for like 10-15 minutes. So I essentially sat down, thought a while, and then I came up with the idea of, hey, wouldn't it be an interesting idea or kind of endearing to write something that can essentially be described as Twilight for grown-ups? In other words, something with real emotions, real people, real issues, and sex. Of course, I won't be able to post these scenes onto YouTube when they come up in the story, so you'll just have to content yourself with me explaining what's going on in them. And you can believe me when I say that in terms of plot points, there's a whole lot going on in them other than the fact that two people are loving each other. The next and last question that might be asked is, a love story without love? Well, it sounds kind of crazy, but one of the things that sets this story apart from the annoying stories of other certain love, quote-unquote love stories, is that the word love here is almost never mentioned, or at least not in the sense that the two lovers in this story actually say this to each other. Now, the reason for this should actually be obvious. Unlike in certain other quote-unquote love stories, where we're supposed to be told that those characters love each other, in this story, essentially the words "I love you" are stripped entirely from the dialogue, precisely because you, the listener, are essentially supposed to experience this within the story. Well, so that's essentially all I have to say about this for the moment. I hope you have as much fun listening to this audio presentation of my book as I had, or better, let's just say have, writing it. I'm still in the process of this as I'm speaking.